where the blade was truth, where kingdoms burned, and memory walks in armor still. This is iron and ash, the axe. Before the sword was forged, before the wall was raised, before kingdoms even knew their borders, there was the axe, not ornament, not ceremony, tool, edge, intent. The axe is older than the kingdom, older than the war, older than the word. It began as bone, then stone, then something in between. A hilt, first held as a club, then weighted with a sharpened edge. The axe was the first deliberate shape to end a life, and also the first to make one possible. Because before it was a weapon, it was how you split wood, for fire, for warmth, for light, for cooking, for surviving a winter. The axe built the village as much as it defended it. It raised beams. It shaped roofs. It carved paths through forest. The axe was the architect of wilderness and the surgeon of trees. It was never just about war. The axe cuts down, but it also clears the way. It takes down and it builds up, a paradox in steel and handle. The word itself travels from Old English axe, from Proto-Germanic akuso, and even earlier, from Proto-Indo-European agues, meaning to cut, to pierce. It gives us another word too, axis, the line on which things turn, the core around which all else pivots, an invisible hinge that makes the visible world possible. And this makes sense, because the axe spins. It arcs. Its power isn't linear. It's rotational. It teaches the body about torque, about center, about change through movement. The axe is a hinge in time, a moment of swing and consequence. To hold one is to know the axis of your own will. It spins at the crossroads of intention and muscle, where effort becomes outcome. But the axe was never just action. It was declaration. It appears on crests, on flags, in the hands of gods, in the arms of kings. The double-headed labras in Minoan myth, the fasces of Roman law, a bound bundle of rods with an axe at its center, symbol of state, of judgment, of execution. To carry the axe was to carry finality, not threat, truth. And so the executioner rose, masked, faceless, but always holding that shape, that sharp promise. The axe didn't just kill, it declared the sentence was complete. It was swift. It was clean. It was meant to end the question. No debate, no appeal. The axe was not a sword drawn in a duel. It was a single line through the narrative. To be axed became a phrase, to be removed, cut off, dismissed. The axe became metaphor, and the metaphor never dulled. In America, it became the tomahawk, thrown in ceremony, in combat, in ritual, compact, precise, trusted. To bury the hatchet came from this, a real act of peace, a pause before vengeance, a moment carved into custom. Axes were tools of birth and death. They felled trees for new homes. They protected those homes when raiders came. They were carried across mountains, tucked beneath sleds, tied to hips on the trail. The axe builds. The axe ends. The axe remembers nothing. But we remember what it did. We remember its weight, its promise, its simplicity. It appeared in battle, but also in law. It appeared at birth and at burial. There were axes used in kitchens, axes held by firemen, axes passed down as inheritance, axes kissed in folklore. In Norse legend, the axe was a companion to the gods. Not lesser than the sword, just more honest. The Vikings brought them across oceans. Two-handed, one-handed, bearded, broad. They were not backup weapons. They were belief systems in wood and iron. Eric Bloodaxe, king, killer, outcast, took his name from one. It wasn't a nickname. It was biography. A warrior who didn't just fight, he cleaved. Executioners honed them. Woodsmen leaned on them. Blacksmiths balanced them. The axe doesn't pierce. It splits. It divides. It chooses. The guillotine was born of the axe's idea. Same promise, a clean cut. A single answer. A judgment unchallenged. To swing an axe is to understand force. To miss with one is to learn humility. The arc matters. The wrist. The weight. Too heavy and you tire. Too light and you bounce. A battle axe is not a tool. It's a question you throw into someone's chest. Bladed on both sides or flat on one and spiked on the other. Some were designed to hook shields, others to bite through armor. Every culture had its variant. The Dane axe, the Francisca, the tomahawk, the halberd. The axe teaches physics, mass and leverage, rotation and intent. Everything turns on a point. And the axe is the exclamation at the end of the spin. And spin it does, through stories, through ages, through myth and metaphor alike. In times of scarcity, the axe decided what burned, what warmed, what survived. In fire, the axe broke walls. Not to destroy, but to rescue. To split open a future, to save something inside. The axe didn't change. Its user did. It shows up in revolts, in uprisings, injustice and vengeance alike. Today, it hangs in firehouses, on the backs of trucks, still red, still ready, still waiting. To wield it was never only to kill. It was to act, to intervene, to do what others won't. The axe became the symbol for removal, for decision, for the thing you do when you've run out of time. Not because it's easy, but because it's final. The phrase "take an axe to it" isn't rage. It's resolve. It's editing reality by force. The axe also became a myth. It lives in fairy tales. The woodsman in Snow White, the hunter with the final word, a rescuer in leather and fur, a shadow who splits truth from lie. In Tolkien's world, Gimli's axe was not mere weapon. It was heritage, a living extension of dwarven pride. Forged by ancestors, driven by oaths. In video games, it remains iconic. In Minecraft, the axe is one of the first tools you craft. It's how you begin, how you survive. It becomes a habit of play, a logic of progression. You don't think about it, you just use it. And that too is the axe's legacy. Even in music, the axe lives on. To wield a guitar, to shred, to riff, to rip a solo, is to hold an axe. It's what Hendrix held, what Clapton gripped. It's not coincidence. It's lineage, the tool that cuts through noise, that makes sound a force. And sound is just another kind of swing, another form of strike, another edge through silence. It waits now too, by the hearth in the shed and the cymbal, still sharp, still ready, still silent, just beneath the ash.